Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Alive on September 10th. And today is Suicide Prevention Day. And I I wanted to come on to probably talk about my own suicide attempt, but not the actual action of the attempt, but actually to shine a light on what was going on that stopped me from living. Okay. So in 2008, I went into the water on a beach in Cork and I wanted to die and I wanted to drown myself. And when I was in the water and my lungs were filling up, I had been given a question maybe 2 years beforehand. And it was a question that Einstein asked. And the question was, is the universe a friendly place? So I'm in the water, I'm under the water. Pretty sure it was a January Friday. And it was around my birthday. I used to get very depressed around my birthday. And there's a bit of a story to that. There was a lot of things occurred when I was a kid, a lot of violence and a lot of non-fun energies to be brought into the world around. My father was super violent. And so I was in the water and my lungs were filling up and I had this sense of peace come over me. Like this, like I'm gonna say like extreme sense of calmness and peace. And I didn't actually have any judgment. Judgment is something that's right or wrong or good or bad over the choice. I had this sense of I can absolutely leave now and that's okay. And then when I asked this question, so my number one, we've called this live, what is it that you require to hear for you to truly live? And so number one would be to ask a question. I asked, is the universe a friendly place to me? And as I was in the water, I got the awareness that I was actually leaving the world with the point of view that this world was unsafe, it was dangerous. So I had a lot of what we call fixed points of views. So tonight I'll be talking about the tools of access consciousness that supported me to truly live. And so a fixed point of view is a judgment that you have in place that doesn't allow you to receive the beauty of being alive, receive consciousness, receive that there is a beautiful planet out there with billions of beings and molecules, and they're all in support of you. They're all working for you, not against you. Everything in the universe, you are part of the universe and everything is working for you. And so when I was in the water, I had this sense of peace came over me, and that gave me the strength to come out of the water and choose to live. And I'm glad I did. And so I'm going to give my top 4 or 5 tips about coming alive. And number one is living as the question, questioning everything. What is my point of view about having a body? What is my point of view about being alive? Have I points of views that the world is against me? Have I points of views that it's dangerous to be alive, that I'm going to be affected by insanity? And so I had all these fixed points of views that were actually killing my body and destroying my life force. Because your life is a bank of energy. Shannon O'Hara says it's a bank of energy. You are giving this life. Your life is free. You're free. And so I had the sense of being in prison instead of having this free bank of energy, which is my life. And so when I asked the question, is the universe a friendly place? And I got a no. In that moment, I had this willingness to get out of the water and change my point of view about what it meant to have a body and to be in this world. And to show, I remember being in the water and being like, am I going to go out like this? And is this the legacy that I'm going to leave for my children? And in that moment, I knew that was the future that I didn't want to have. And by the way, folks, if you're watching this and any of your friends and family have committed suicide, my point of view is that it's not wrong, it's not bad, it's not something to be judged. It is a choice. And if someone is in so much pain, then that might be the choice for them, that it's painful to be on this planet, because I also know that place. And so I chose to get out of the water, and I chose to start living my life. And I had this beautiful experience of receiving help. Now, one of the things that it's very, I'm going to say un-Irish, culturally unacceptable. I had this very strange point of view about asking for help. When I had asked for help a lot as a kid, there would be a lot of judgment and insanity, and there wasn't really the support and the presence that I required to move through lies, to go beyond the lies that I was functioning from in regard to myself. Okay. So, number 2, ask for help. Ask consciousness to send you someone who can be present with you, who doesn't judge you, and who can support you to go beyond the lies that you're living from. At the time, I was living from lies that I wasn't good enough, that I was a piece of shit, that I was a waste of space. And so by seeking help, support, someone who can be present with you, I began to recognize that the lies that I had bought about myself were not true. And actually that day on the beach, number 3, ask for a miracle. When I got out of the water, my phone was ringing on the sand, and it was a friend of mine called Valerie. And she said she actually had I have a lot of super psychic friends. I've always had people around me that are super psychic. And she actually got this image that I was in danger. And that's how come she was ringing my phone. And ask for people that can support you. I cannot begin to highlight the relevance of having good people in your life. It is immeasurable in what support can actually bring you and lead you to go beyond. And so I had the strength to get through the lies that I was living from. And so ask for a miracle. It does take courage to live, and it does take courage to go beyond the lies, and it does take courage to shift your perception. So ask for a miracle. Universe, I knew somewhere deep inside me that we live in a universe of magic, and that magic wasn't coming into my body. There was some disruption in receiving it in the molecules of my body. And what was influencing my body at that time was lies about myself. And beauty and kindness and caring and nurturing wasn't influencing the cells of my body. So no wonder I wanted to die. And so number 4, what does your body require for you to truly live? And so, touched by kindness, walking through the trees, sitting by the ocean, I was in Geneva last weekend watching the waterfall. What are the things that activate gratitude in your cells, that influence you towards living instead of judgment? Okay. And then the big one, judgment. I am someone who is very different. And so when I say I'm very different, I am extremely sensitive to judgment. And I used to be ashamed of that, but now I am actually proud of that. Judgment is a black, dark, empty pit. It doesn't ever lead you to something greater. It only ever diminishes you, your abilities, and your abilities to create your life. And so one of the tools of Access Consciousness is no judgment. What if you didn't have to judge you when you're sad, or when you're lonely, or when you are in a place where you require support? education, information. I did not have the information or the education that I functioned different and that I was extremely sensitive to judgment. And when I judged myself, it was an absolute destruction of me and my body. And so you can ask, is judgment a reality? Because judgment is, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, be the good girl, and this is bad, you're a bad girl if you don't do it this way. So we all have these like bases, and it's like a basic point of view about the way that you should be, the way that you should function. And so what occurred for me is I had created this, I'm going to say like pretense of being Miss Perfect. And on the outside, my hair would be done or my makeup would be done. On the inside, though, I was like suffering because I didn't know that judgment was the thing that was actually extremely destructive to me. And so educate yourself on judgment and then educate yourself on gratitude. What if you were grateful for your difference? What if you began to see the beauty and the kindness of you as a gift to the world? So for me to truly live, I had to rewrite the first line of my story. And the first line of my story was, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. And so I had to take that lie, I had to undo that lie and replace it with, I am a gift and I am generous and I am kind. Whew. And so now I'm about to use the Access Consciousness clearing statement, which is, I'm going to say like it's an energetic wand that allows you to destroy the points of views that are stopping you from knowing, receiving, perceiving, and being the kindness of you and from receiving the gift of you. And if you're out there and you're super different and you know that judgment doesn't work for you, remember, judgment has been running this reality for a long time. And so when you come into the world and you recognize that judgment is always a diminishment of you, it may take you some time to recognize your difference and that you're not normal, and to function from no judgment is an actual beautiful capacity and a beautiful gift to the world. So rewrite, take one line, take the first line of your story and rewrite it. You can rewrite it and you can use the clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, creations, bases and beyonds. And that you can use that clearing statement to destroy the story, to undo the lies that you've bought about you, so that you can actually really get to know what is true about you. And I use the clearing statement, the short version of it is, pot and pock everywhere, I am buying that story of me. What is true? What is true for me? And then the fifth thing, I'm pretty sure I've gone through 5, is there is this therapy called Access Bars. The bars. Actually, there is a class online. It's the only online bars class that you can do with Dr. Dane Hare, who is such a gift and a contribution to people that are different coming together and celebrating their difference and undoing the lies and the judgments of themselves. And so the bars class is on Friday, September the 12th, and you can do it online. Live is booked out in Budapest, but you can actually do it online and find what it's like to have your bars run. And so in the bars, there are points that will be touched on your head. And one of them is called the implant band. It's just here behind the head. And the implant band is all the lies that you've locked into your body. The bars is a body process. And so were you implanted to believe that you're not good enough? Were you implanted to believe that you're not kind? Were you implanted to believe that there is something radically wrong with you, you know? And so the bars are about receiving, which is a phenomenon of consciousness. Receiving is you actually receiving your body, receiving you. And it's quite challenging to put the transformation that bars creates with people's bodies into words. What I have seen is people get on a table, they're so stressed, maybe about a relationship or money or work. And they've decided that there's something in their lives that they just can't work through. And you get your bars run and you get up and you recognize that you can handle what you thought you couldn't handle. And then you've the ability to be present with it and it just melts and changes. And so for me, I've been getting my bars run 13 years now. I started in 2012. And I am delighted to say today that, and I still have a way to go. I certainly haven't got it all figured out. I'm absolutely not perfect. I still have places where I have old programs about asking for help, you know. And every time I get my bars run, I allow someone to touch my head, to contribute to me, and I change and I become stronger. And I suppose the very choice to do this live was to tell anyone out there that you actually can go beyond things that you think may kill you, you know. I had a lot of abuse as a child, and I genuinely, that affected the way that I interacted with the world. What I would like you to know today, and I'll be the voice of the universe, is that there are kind, beautiful, caring, loving people in the world who will not judge you and they can support you. And ask for a friend in consciousness who is, I'm going to say, an example of that magnificent loving of the universe. Because I require that. I require that. This is my vulnerability moment. I require to have that kindness. I require to live that happiness in our world. And so today I'm proud of me. Do I still judge me? Yes, sometimes. Do I still think I'm wrong? Yes, sometimes. I'm moving more and more away from that every day. And I would say one of my favorite things in the world is, my favorite energy in the world is gratitude. Gratitude that I'm alive today, that I actually moved through some very hard and tough stuff, you know. And the bar supported me to have that space where I could become stronger and I could make different choices. And I had a very abusive relationship with myself. I was extremely hard on myself. And all of that it's like consciousness couldn't get in because the pipe was twisted with all these lies. But that's disappearing every day more and more. And I get kinder and more caring to myself. So on this beautiful night, one of the things that I would like to leave you with is now the time to take full responsibility for you, for your life, for the way you live your life. Is now the time to, for me, like, I had to stop pretending that I've got all this together, and I do require support. And I really had to know to keep on living that all of living and all of life, this is the Access Consciousness mantra, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And every day I have the ability to get out of bed, not put a duvet up over my head and hide from the world, you know, because it's too hard, it's too tough. Every day I get up and I create my living. And every day, at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the people that I've met, I've talked to, and the experiences I've had, like today, walking in the rain with my yellow raincoat. And so there's a beautiful book that popped as I was coming live. It's called Living Beyond Distraction. I was very distracted by guilt and shame. And this book gives a great education and information about distractor implants. They're the ones that are implanted into your body and locked into your body. And so I invite you to seek what will allow you to truly live. And I guess I'm the voice of hope for anyone out there who may have forgotten that they're a dragon, a miracle worker, and seek what makes you light. One of my favorite things in Access Consciousness we talk about is energy. What's true is light, and what is a lie is heavy. What is true for you that you have not ever received, recognized, valued, and what is valuable to you? Is your life valuable to you? Is kindness valuable to you? Is being grateful for you and others valuable to you? And what gift are you to this world that you haven't ever acknowledged? So I want to finish by saying thank you to all the translators. They've all gifted their time free tonight. And thank you for their time and their energy. And no matter where you are in the world, there is always hope. Ask a question, ask the universe to contribute, and the magic will show up. Big kisses from me tonight and sweet kisses on your cheek. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And all of living comes to us with ease and joy and glory. And it does take courage to live. Bye for now.